Aren't you a little too big to be playing with little children? Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. Once again, we're taking a look at another Age of the Primes toy. This is Heatwave from the Rescue Bots toy line. Now, many of you may not be familiar with Rescue Bots, but that's not something to be thought down about. Rescue Bots is intended for very young children. Hasbro allows Play School to use that for their own multimedia to educate and entertain children between 3 and 5 years of age. So obviously the toy versions of that Heatwave would be considerably simpler than what this one is. But it is still nice to see some of the other media being represented in the Transformer toy line. So after all, somebody might have enjoyed Heatwave and wouldn't mind having a more advanced transforming toy of him. Heatwave, of course, was the leader of the Rescue Bots. He has grand designs of eventually joining Team Prime. But for now, he's stuck leading a small group of robots that are supposed to be pretending to be non-sentient emergency vehicles. Heatwave, however, enjoys being in the thick of the action, thus sometimes having a hard time keeping his cover. And at any rate, this is a nice version of him, although it is a massive retooling of Bulkhead that we got not too terribly long ago. So if there is a disappointment to that, it is that. Although he does have a lot of transparent blue parts. And if you look there inside the visor plate, when the light hits it right, you do get to see his eyes. So that's an interesting little detail. Gotta admit that, folks. It is an interesting little detail that they added. Now let's take a look at some of Heatwave's accessories. He comes with this double-barreled blaster, which I'm guessing since it's for a kids show, this probably shoots water more than laser blasts. I'm sorry, but my adult mind just can't wrap itself around entertainment for modern children. So do forgive me on that. We also do have a transparent blue axe, which is any good firefighter knows how to use. Or even any good amateur firefighter. So it's a little bit of trivia for you folks. For The Shining, Jack Nicholson's scene where he chops down the door to the bathroom, they originally wanted to use a fake door for it. But as Nicholson had been a volunteer firefighter, he knew how to swing an axe, and he explicitly told Stanley Kubrick a fake door would not work for it. And even demonstrated, since of his knowledge of how to swing an axe, the fake door crumbled to pieces almost immediately. And then lastly, for his accessories, we have this ladder. As any good fire engine should have a ladder, because fire happens in any direction, and you may park in any direction. As Canadian comic Red Green once said in his show where he made his own fire truck out of an old car. Of course, his ladder was an inverted step ladder mounted onto a special plate on the top of the car, claiming that when it was opened up, you could then fight two fires in two different directions at the same time. However, I would imagine it probably snagged quite a few power lines. Not that that truck saw any service. Since he disconnected the water pump, the car caught fire almost immediately. Always great comedy. At any rate, let's take a look at Heatwave's articulation. You can turn his head from side to side. The fire helmet makes it easy to grip his head. And it is on a ball joint, so it will rock up and down. You can raise his arms out to the side about so far. And they do rotate at the shoulder all the way around. You can bend his arm at the elbow, roughly 90 degrees. And he does have something of a swivel, but it doesn't really do much good due to how big his torso is. You can twist him at his hips, so he does have some dance moves going. We can spread his legs apart into a full splits. He does have a small thigh cut. It isn't much to write home about. You can raise his leg at the hip 90 degrees, and you can bend his leg at the knee 90 degrees. So all in all, not too bad on the articulation. Although probably significantly better than the original child-proof toys. Alright, to transform Heatwave, we start by turning him around and folding up this flap here. Then we come up front and get the shoulders separated from the torso. So that way we can lift the truck cab section upwards like so. Then we reach in here, grab the plate that's got his head, and fold it down like so. And then there's this piece in here that we can fold in so that it covers up the roof of the truck. Continue to shift it further to the back. Because then we're going to shift his arms at the shoulders to bring them inside like so. Then we start to raise them up and bend his arms at the elbow. Because we're going to fit them inside the truck. Also remember to try to keep the arms shifting close together. They do have a post that allows them to connect, so you should probably connect them up. Then there'll be less movement action as you bring down the truck. Yeah, they're not bent enough. Excuse me. Alright, once you get the arms tucked in all the way, you'll come down here to his hip. Pop this piece free and fold it outwards. And try to keep it so that when you shift the hips straight back, it folds up and stays like that. While you keep the legs pointed back. Then you can come over here behind the cab, fold down this small piece, and that'll keep the head concealed. Then we're going to start bringing up the body a bit. You got to get it to separate down here a bit more. There we go. That's better. So now they're wanting us to shift the legs and try to bring them together. Before we do that, we got to open them up Get the legs opened up, reach inside and fold out the fuel tanks that are hiding in here before we close them up and reconnect them. The fuel tanks each have a bar on them that should connect to the legs. And then we're basically shifting things around. So that way things do connect up. There we go. Get the upper portion of the legs to bend up. And the fuel tanks will connect to the truck cab. There we go. There we are. Now we can get these legs reconnected. And then fold up the heels. And of course, while we've done that, get the ladder. On one side has a couple of holes in it. And just connect it right here to the truck. And then you can fold the feet up to help support it. And there you have it. Heatwave is in his fire truck mode. And then, of course, there are some vertical posts on his weaponry, and they will attach onto the ladder, allowing him to carry his weapons as he goes. He rolls sort of okay. It's not perfect, but that could partially be me. So what do I think of Heatwave? Well, I like the idea of expanding the Transformer universe to other people. Because it's often said that Hasbro often focuses way too much attention on Generation 1. And being a G1 fan, I tend to agree with that. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from other G1ers, but we can't carry the burden of loving this franchise forever. The other shows and whatnot that have come out, they have their fans, and they also deserve some love too. So a lot of the gripes this year is the fact that Hasbro's putting a lot of focus on the 40th anniversary of the animated film from Generation 1, but ignoring the fact that Beast Wars, which was nearly if not as successful as Generation 1, is being ignored. So I kind of feel for the Beast War fans. I didn't get into it, but I had nothing against it. So I do appreciate it if Hasbro and any of the other things that are making Transformer-related product puts some attention on some of the others. While they may not be getting as much love as G1 or Beast Wars, they do have their fans, and they do appreciate the attention. And that's my review of the Age of the Primes version of Heatwave. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please do remember that if you love the content we feature on this channel, I would appreciate some likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.